This is Andy with Quality Stocks. Today is Friday, July 9th, 2010. Today we're going to take a look at Newport Digital Technologies. This is a NASDAQ bulletin board stock trading on the ticker NPDT. Normally we don't look at the candles first and foremost. We look at the indicators. But I do want to point something out because we talked about this previously with NPDT holding a nice base at 005. I want to leave that kind of in view first and foremost because one of the first things we look for when a possible bottom is in is positive divergence. When you're looking for the move, simply means the PPS is trending down while the MACD is trending up, or any indicators trending up. You can see that the MACD had a strong uptrend to it, while the PPS had a pretty strong downtrend to it, coming from 009 and even further. But we're going to take it back to this point, back to 009 down to 005. A nice positive divergence there. Pincher kind of set up. ADX or the negative DI not quite as high as maybe you'd like to see, but the ADX, PPO making a nice pinch. What's even more important about a pincher formation is seeing that PPO starting to trend towards zero off the pinch. That's when you can start looking for a stronger move to possibly happen. We're going to look at the MFIs, and I'm going to put this down here on the very bottom to show a straight line through there, so you'll see the slightest bit of even divergence with the MFIs. What's important about the MFIs is they're all moving together. Those of you that follow us here in our annotated charts will know that we don't want to see a great deal of separation because sometimes that can lead to a pretty quick pullback. You usually only get a day or so. The huge separation of the 7 and the 14 and the 21, they tend to want to stay back together, kind of like even back in here. You'll see it made a pretty nice move there, but the huge separation a couple days, 3 days later or so, it pulled back pretty hard. So that's what you want to see, these flowing together and moving together. The 21's kind of tucked back in there at 41, but it's not gapped out real far. So you like to see them going. That shows that there still might be some strength in this move. It kind of goes along with, you see them move together when you get some volume and you close at the high of the day, which every technical analysis knows that that's a strong move. Same thing with the AD. Put a bottom in on there, straight line. You'll see a slight uptrend. Very nice curl the last couple days. This is one thing we pointed out earlier on in one of the previous charts. A nice uptrend from the Chaikin money flow, heading back towards zero. Back in the green now with a strong move. CCI, people look at this as a breakthrough negative 100 as a buy point, and that puts you right there at that support level, showing that it was a decent buy opportunity. Broke back through zero, made a strong move. Momentum traders will often look at 100, the break of 100, as a buy point. Bottom traders look for the negative 100. Momentum traders will look for the break of 100 as a bullish opportunity with the CCI. Full stow, kind of same thing, coming around the bottom. Still plenty of room to move. The full stow, the breakthrough 150 puts you, or breakthrough 50 puts you in bullish territory. So you see that it's just now getting there, so it's starting to move towards bull area. This is one thing that I liked about NPDT. Those of you that follow my analysis know that I always look for uptrends in the tricks because it's a slower indicator. When it's trending up, it's showing strength. Hopping up here to the RSIs, you see just now 1421 coming through 50. That's your bull territory. The 7, the 7 can actually get up and trend, pretty close to 100. A lot of people, momentum traders again, will look at this as you'll hear them say breaking into the power zone, where they want to see the break above 70 and they want to see it hold up there. So the 7 is leading the way. 14 and 21, from a more technical standpoint, are breaking through 50. Of course, they're going to follow slower, but they're still moving nicely together. Not a huge deal of separation. That's what you always want to see. From the candle standpoint, the move today was just great. We talk about the 20-day moving average being the first real significant moving average resistance. It blew right through that. Volume was good, not as high as on days like this, but see, you're still seeing volume coming in. Great deal of liquidity, 2.7 million. Blew right through that, which was also a kind of classic form of technical analysis. Resistance right there at 006. I'll scroll in with my cursor so you can see that there was some PPS resistance there. You would expect that to be resistance. It moved right through it. The next area that would have been a significant resistance level would be right here around 007, which again it blew right through. The final area that you're looking for serious resistance is going to be that 50-day moving average. You're going to try and tie trend lines into it. You're going to try and tie PPS resistance into it to see just how strong it's going to be. Now it is at a level where it closed at the high of the day of a PPS resistance. So we're going to want to see that fall. If you put a trend line in this is a 6-month chart, we'd put it right through that area. It's almost uncanny how the trend lines a lot of times want to tie in with the 50-day moving average, and you can see it's right there at it too. So NPDT has a little bit of a challenge in front of it tomorrow with the 3 areas of resistance right there. But if closing at the high of the day is just a very bullish thing, it shows a lot of strength. The increase in volume shows a lot of strength. I would anticipate this to come out of the gates tomorrow with a push, and I would look for 10, which is 1 penny, kind of a psychological barrier for starters, and you can see a little bit of resistance right there from a PPS standpoint. So I'd look for 10 to be a tough spot. Even more importantly, the next real price per share resistance is going to be up here around 0.12. You can see it was historically a support level. It fell through it. It tried to hold it several times before it fell through it. Still very significant gains, another 50% from where it is today. I'd look for that to be the upper end of it and see what it can do there. On a overall perspective, I would think that NPDT is just very bullish right now with the move through the 50 and the move just slightly above the trend line. I always refer to things as don't look at it as being exactly specific to touching it. A lot of times it does, but it's still in a tough spot right now with some resistance. So make sure it pushes above that. I'd imagine with the way that it closed today, it's going to come out strong though. As far as a pullback, which is something you always have to think about, this is not going to be that beneficial because I'm not scaled in close enough to give you true numbers as far as the retracements go. But you will be able to see that a 50%, it's basic math, 0.05 to 0.078, 50%, you know, that's a 0.003 move. You know, you're going to get 0.0. It's going to look around 0.65 to be a 50% retracement. So at 0.065. If it pulls back to there, the 20-day moving average is also going to be there. You're going to look for that for a bounce point. A lot of traders are going to be playing the fibs, so they're going to look for that as a bounce point. If it wants to retrace, I wouldn't be too worried if it pulled back to 50%. My gut instinct says from technical analysis that's going to come out strong tomorrow, I do believe. But if it wants to retrace, don't be too concerned if it pulls back to 50% and then wants to try and move again. On a greater level, you're going to look for this ultimately just to be making a new high. When it eventually does come back down, you don't want to see it come all the way back to 0.05. You want to see it make a new high or low and then continue the uptrend based on the indicators, which give you a greater long-term perspective on Newport. So this is Andy with QualityStocks taking a look at NPDT.